People saw a hero. What they didn't see was the loneliness, the silence, and the aching need to matter only when I was useful. I don't really know who I am when I'm not being useful to someone. That thought hit me while I was standing in the supply closet at the shelter, halfway through sorting a box of donated winter coats, staring at a pair of children's gloves like they were going to start talking to me. There were tiny patches on the palms, a cartoon bear on one. I froze up and couldn't move. Just blank. My hands stopped working. And all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't breathe in there. It wasn't a panic attack. I don't think. It was more like my insides just gave up. Like, what are you doing, really? Everyone says they volunteer because they want to give back or do their part, and I always told people the same thing. It wasn't a lie. Not exactly. But it also wasn't the whole truth. The truth is that I feel best when I'm needed. When someone's asking for me. When I'm holding the clipboard, offering soup, fixing something broken, listening to someone cry. I feel real then. Solid. Like gravity works better on me. And when I drive home, well, I used to drive home, now I barely go. I feel like I earned my existence that day. Like the space I take up matters because it served a purpose. But lately, I've been scaring myself. Let me back up. I'm 34. I live alone. Technically, I still share a place with my ex, but she moved out 6 months ago and the lease is in some weird limbo because we haven't officially split everything yet. Still some furniture with her energy on it. A few plants I don't know how to keep alive. You can smell her in the blankets if the sun hits them a certain way. That kind of lingering. We were together for 5 years. She used to say I had the emotional range of firefighter who refuses therapy, which, fair, I used to laugh it off. At least I save people. I joke, but she never laughed all the way. I can't remember the last time we touched just because, and that hurts to admit. There was always someone else who needed my time. Always something urgent. An event or a donation drive, or another shift at the hotline. I missed 3 birthdays. Not all hers, but it doesn't matter really. Who counts things like that until they're already building the case for leaving? Anyway, after she left, I did the same thing I always do when things go wrong. I threw myself headfirst into the charity. My other relationship, she used to call it. And suddenly nobody could stop me. Morning shifts, evening prep, weekend runs, late-night firewood drops in January. I needed the doing more than anyone needed to help. But no one stopped me. They praised me. They called me a saint. Said things like, God, I don't know how you do it. And I smiled, and I absorbed it like rain on cracked pavement. It felt so good. It felt like I was finally good enough, maybe even irreplaceable. That's dangerous stuff to tell someone who's been walking around with a dull ache in their ribs for years. There was one night, maybe a month ago, that something sort of cracked. I was supposed to meet my sister for dinner. She'd been trying to reconnect with me, gently calling every couple weeks, and I kept pushing her off. That night, I was loading boxes out back, late again, and my phone rang. I ignored it twice. Finally answered the third time with a breathless, "Hey, sorry, can I call you later?" She didn't say hello. Just, "Are you okay?" And that did something weird to me. Not "Where are you?" or "Are you coming?" Just "Are you okay?" Like she knew. Like even she could hear that something in me was stretched too thin, buzzing like a dying light bulb. I ended up ghosting dinner. When I got home, I found her text. "Hey, I miss you. Take care of you, okay?" I didn't answer. Still haven't. I feel awful about that. I keep almost replying, but somehow that feels harder than it should. Like opening a door I don't remember how to close. And through all of this, the work just kept multiplying. Or maybe I did. Like if there wasn't enough crisis, I'd find new ones, invent them in my head, inflate small problems until I had an excuse to step in. I micromanaged volunteer signups, reorganized the pantry twice in 1 week. People started joking about how I lived there. Funny thing is, it wasn't a joke. My bed started collecting laundry. I'd eat there once a day, maybe standing at the counter in silence. Shower every second day if I remembered. These small things. Feeding myself, texting my friends back, answering emails. Sleeping properly, they just stopped matching. My phone's full of unread messages. Some from friends I used to talk to daily. A couple from my mom. One from my ex. Still unopened. And maybe the thing that made this real, like really real, was when Patricia, our program director at the shelter, gently pulled me aside after a shift and said, "You can say no, we'll still love you." I laughed. I wanted it to sound grateful, but it came out bitter. I don't know how anymore. I told her. She just looked at me and said, "Then you're not helping. You're bleeding." That sentence. I still think about it almost daily. Not in a poetic way. It just echoes. Sometimes when I wake up, or when I'm lying to someone, saying I'm busy but really just too drained to form a sentence. You're not helping. You're bleeding. Maybe that's what addiction is. That twisted logic where you know it's hurting you, maybe even hurting others, but the thought of stopping makes your chest feel hollow. Like the only thing worse than the damage is the silence it would leave behind. I don't want to be a martyr. I really don't. But I'm starting to worry that retreating from real intimacy and replacing it with usefulness is just another way I hide. After that conversation with Patricia, I didn't go into the shelter for a few days. No text to explain. No dramatic exit. Just didn't show up. I kept thinking someone would call, ask where I was, say they needed me. But my phone stayed quiet, except for the usual spam and a reminder from my grocery app that I hadn't ordered anything in over 2 weeks. Funny what leaves an impression. I sat in my apartment, like it was a waiting room, staring at nothing. Try to figure out what part of my brain managed to convince me that self-abandonment was a noble kind of love. Like the more I gave away, the more worth I could gather up in return. I even caught myself Googling burnout symptoms at 2 a.m. like I was trying to win a diagnosis. The truth is, I don't know how to just be. Like, just exist without a task or a cause or someone to save. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's ridiculous how panicked I get when there's nothing for me to do. I tried watching a movie, just a normal thing people do, and got up halfway through to reorganize my spice rack. I don't even cook that much. But here's the part one haven't fully admitted out loud. I think I've used volunteering the same way some people use alcohol or sex or work, to disappear from themselves, to blur the background noise that starts screaming when things get too still. And God, stillness is loud. My apartment is so quiet. It started to hit me that I've been physically present in this place, but emotionally, I don't know, evacuated, like a body without a pilot. There's photos still up, framed memories I forgot to take down after she left. Most of them are of us at fundraisers or outdoor cleanups or holiday meals. We were always doing something. That was our language. Action. Always in motion, so we didn't have to sit and prove we were okay just being with each other. That blew up eventually. Not suddenly, more like a tire slowly leaking until it thudded to a stop. But now it's just me in the silence, and it's like I don't recognize what's left. There's a part of me, small but loud, whispering that maybe if I fix myself, I don't get to feel needed anymore. I don't get to chase approval or admiration or the warm, sugary high of, "You're such a good person." What if learning balance means losing the only identity I've been able to hold on to without it slipping through my fingers? That thought terrifies me more than I want to admit. I booked a therapy appointment last week. First one in years. My ex used to gently suggest it. The way you'd ask someone if they thought about switching from coffee to tea, casual, non-threatening. But behind it was this quiet pleading. "Do you want more tools?" she'd say. "You can't build a life with just a hammer, babe." There's a part of me that hated that, because she was right, and because I'd always believed the hammer was a tool. If I just swung hard enough, fast enough, I could fix everything, hold it together with my bare hands and effort. The therapist, a soft-eyed woman named Mira, asked me why I volunteer so much. I started crying before I even answered. I think I surprised both of us. I said something like, "Because it's where I feel most whole." But then I corrected myself and said, "No, not whole, just less broken." She nodded and said something gentle that I forgot immediately because my own words were still echoing like a scream I didn't mean to let out. She asked me if I knew the difference between love and self-erasure. I didn't answer that one. Still don't have a good answer. But I knew what she meant. Because even though I show up for strangers, crash into their grief with blankets and warm words and donated socks, I can't even return my mom's call half the time, or answer my sister's text, or tell old friends I miss them. I tell myself I'm serving others. But the truth is, it's easy to comfort someone you don't have to see again. People you rescue don't stand around long enough to ask, "But how are you really?" It's safer. It's easier to be a hero than to be known. After a few days off, I finally sent my sister a message. Just 2 lines. "Hey, I miss you too. I think I've been hiding. Want to get coffee next week?" She replied within 10 minutes. "Absolutely. Just say when." I almost cried again. I don't cry that much, or I'm not supposed to. But lately, it's like the tears have been hiding in my bones, just waiting for someone to ask the right thing. I'm trying to take space now. Not to disappear again, but to reconnect. With myself, I guess. Last night, I made dinner. From scratch. Pasta with actual sauce that didn't come from a jar. And I sat and ate it at the table like a functioning person. No distractions. No crumbs and sheets. Just dinner. And today, I walked into the shelter with a small container of cookies and gave them to Marcy, the high school volunteer who's always nervous. I looked her in the eye and said, "Hey, I'm just checking in. Let me know if you need backup." Then I went home. I didn't stay. I wanted to. God, I wanted to so badly it made my skin itch. But I went home, and I sat with the itch. The wanting. The silence. It didn't kill me. I don't know who I am when I'm not fixing things. But I'm starting to believe that whoever I am without the hammer might still be worth loving. I saw someone sitting outside the shelter last week. Middle-aged guy, gray hoodie, eyes like laundry left too long in the rain. He wasn't someone I recognized. Just sitting on the curb with his sleeves pulled over his hands. The old me would have walked straight toward him, already halfway through a plan. Get him food, find him shelter, ask his name, offer gloves, connect him to intake. The whole Savior fire drill. That loop ran through my head even now. But I didn't move. I just watched him for a minute from across the street while holding a coffee I bought for myself. My new ritual after therapy. Simple. Dumb. A cup of warmth I'm not giving to anyone else. He looked up, saw me, nodded. I nodded back. And I kept walking, not out of indifference. I felt it, trust me, but it was different. Not panic, not compulsive. Just quiet empathy. And the strangest realization floated up. I don't have to save everyone to be okay. God, that was weird. Felt like betrayal for a second, but also relief. Like getting out of a too-tight sweater you've been sweating in for years. I'm not saying I'm cured. Whatever that means. I still talk too fast in therapy when I'm uncomfortable, and Mira's got this terrifying gift of gently calling me out with questions like, is that the part of you that gives? Or the part of you that's scared to sit still with what you need? She asked that 2 sessions ago, and I laughed so abruptly I almost choked on my breath. What I need. What a wild idea. I think a lot about my ex lately. Not in the sad, rerun way. More like rereading a book that confused you the first time and realizing maybe you were skipping pages. Or didn't know the language yet. I saw that photo of us in front of the food drive banner. The one where I got gloves on and she's holding hot chocolate with whipped cream. She looked so alive in it. I looked exhausted, but lit up like a mascot for service. We were so good at doing things together. But I wonder now if she ever knew me when I wasn't doing. And if I ever let her. It's weird. Try and peel back the needy parts of yourself when the whole world trained you to think that selflessness is a gold star. You grow up watching movies where the person who gives and gives, the one who sacrifices everything, is the hero. But nobody shows the part where they collapse after. Or forget how to be a person when the audience goes home. I think I thought love was proving you had no needs. Like if you could shrink yourself enough, everyone would stay. But people don't fall in love with who you disappear into. They fall in love with the messy, breathing, raw parts of you. And I didn't offer those. Not really. It makes me want another shot. Not just with her, but with people in general. With myself. I met my sister for that coffee. Finally, she hugged me too long at first, and then made fun of me for ordering tea. I didn't know I needed to laugh that much until I did. She has a way of being right without weaponizing it. Like, it's love, not a lesson. We talked around things at first, and then through them. She told me she was scared she'd lost me, that she watched me disappear behind all this goodness, like it was a shield. I didn't argue. She wasn't wrong. I said, I think I thought I had to earn love by doing. Like, if I was useful enough, I'd matter more. She said, you matter without doing. And I cried into my chamomile like someone who's finally tired. The next week, I blocked off 3 days on my calendar with a red event that just said, be useless. I didn't know what that would mean. Honestly, part of me expected it to unravel me. Day 1, I woke up and sat on the balcony with nothing but coffee and the sound of traffic. Just sat there. My mind spun like some little machine trying to feed off approval, but I didn't feed it. I just noticed it. Let it buzz on. Day 2, I baked a banana bread because it smelled warm and real, and I wanted my apartment to feel like a place someone lives. Day 3, I called a friend I hadn't spoken to in a year. Apologized for drifting. She laughed and said, took you long enough. We talked for 2 hours. She asked how I was really doing, and I didn't pretend. That felt huge. I've started volunteering again, but less intentionally, one day a week. Sometimes, too, if I feel full, not empty. And when I say no, I've started saying it without apology. Just a soft, firm, I can't take that on right now. And you know what's messed up? The world doesn't end. People figure things out. Others step up. I'm not the last offense between someone and pain. I never was. And slowly, almost without noticing, I've stopped needing to be the hero in every room. Sometimes I'm just a person washing dishes beside someone, or the one handing out water, not speeches. And once in a while, I let someone care about me back. That part's been surprisingly hard, but good. And I've started thinking that maybe I'm not addicted to helping people. Maybe I've just been starving for connection. And I mistook being needed for being loved. But love, real, warm, seat at the table love, that's not about utility. That's about presence. About showing up when you have nothing to offer but your full, fractured self. That's what I'm learning to do. Slowly, clumsily, but honestly. And for the first time in a long, long while, I don't feel empty. I just feel here, and that might be enough.